Messes aren't fooling around, and the drama has escalated to a new level. We are in the midst of a full-fledged court battle after Kirk's clandestine attack, which I mean to be some next-level backstabbing mess that ended his career. This might be the final straw, not simply another instance of hip-hop fallout and petty love. Hold on, how did Mendeecees reverse the grip? And what did Kirk do this time? Hit in with the whole lawsuit so fast, and the receipts are going to fall, darling. It's scalding lava, not just tea, but wait. Do you recall how Kirk has been acting odd lately? The heat is on now that it appears like the secret meetings and small maneuvers behind M's back have reached a breaking point. Did Kirk make a mistake, or is this about Yandy and some unsettled business from the past? We have all the sloppy details and the drama behind the scenes, so don't even trip. By the end of this video, we're going to unveil everything, and I promise you that you will be shaken. If you believe that the drama between Ems Harris and Kirk Frost was ended, you are incorrect. Rumor has it that Ems has sued Kirk, which will make the narrative much stranger. Isn't just any lawsuit, there are hints of a massive conspiracy developing beneath it, which indicates that what we thought was real is far more complex and nuanced than that. Listen, what Kirk Frost did that led to this situation is the true question, not just whether M filed the case. This seems like a planned strike rather than a minor disagreement because Kirk had no worries as long as M stayed silent. But have you noticed that Yandy Smith hasn't mentioned this entire affair at all? She used to always step in to protect male DCs, but she hasn't said anything this time. Does this imply that she doesn't agree with the argument? Or is she aware that if she speaks up, some of her secrets may be revealed because, let's be honest, no one in that situation could defend Mendeecees. Let's analyze this entire situation now that Hollywood and the hip-hop industry are spotless. It all started with Kirk Frost apparently having a covert plan against me. Much more than Kirk's infidelity with Rashida Frost was exposed when his affair with Jasmine Blue was made public. This time, Mendeecees and his family were also involved in the drama. And then Kirk and I had an unexpected private rendezvous. Is leaked, showing Kirk discussing a dubious topic. Although this meeting took place in a public setting, it was videotaped by someone inside and provided to the media. The contents of that talk stunned everyone, and Mendeecees informed Kirk straight that if he didn't cease his shady behavior, he would take him to court. Kirk Frost, on the other hand, threatened the mess rather than back down. But hear me out, Mendeecees is no newbie to this game. He has served time in prison and is well versed in self-defense when others attempt to exploit him. The true twist is that this man, who is so busy trying to destroy other people's careers, is suddenly freaking out when the tables are turned against him. He brought the matter to the courts when he saw Kirk Frost wasn't stopping. Sources claim that Kirk Frost approached and fed M's clients and connections behind his back, covertly interfering in M's commercial affairs. This is a criminal complaint that seeks to prove that Kirk did more than just cheat. He actually organized an attack against Mendeecees. It is not merely a case of slander. The key query at this point is what sort of attack we are discussing. A well-planned takeover mission that Kirk had been secretly pursuing against Mendeecees, as evidenced by the leak of confidential corporate data and false information from an unnamed source. After learning the facts, Mendeecees concluded that filing a lawsuit was his only remaining option. Now think about this. DCs wouldn't be proceeding this far if the argument had been straightforward. But when? It's not just a feud if someone damages your reputation in both your personal and professional life. This is a war, and trust me, it's not just about business, it's a power fight. Legal measures and secret strategies are the only means to overcome Kirk Frost and Mendeecees, who are both significant players in their respective businesses. There's more to this story though, because Noah Kirk has been added to the complaint since it was filed. The next big question is whether Kirk will fight this lawsuit legally or if he is already planning another secret move behind the scenes. Frost will simply take it easy. The main question is why Yandy Smith isn't speaking up since, let's be honest, she hasn't been brought up since M's case became public. Does that imply that she? This is just the start of the legal struggle. The main fight is yet to come. Therefore, the real question is what DC will do next. Was she already aware that this would occur? Or worse, is she genuinely supporting Kirk Frost? What does that signify for Ems, if at all? As long as they were a team, Kirk had no chance. But Mendeecees could lose this fight if Yandy begins to lean in Kirk's direction. In part 2, we'll discuss legal loopholes, media coverage, and industry reactions to this bizarre predicament. This story is about to become stranger, so pay attention. What will happen now that Kirk Frost has been formally taken by Ems Harris? What role does Yandy play in this situation? Above all, what does Me stand to gain from this case if he prevails? Things will get much more messy in court because Kirk Frost isn't the kind to just sit back and take a loss without taking revenge. He's actually already working behind the scenes to change the case's outcome in his favor. However, this isn't just any lawsuit. It's a full-fledged struggle for secrets, power, and influence. And when you're up against someone like Kirk Frost, you can be certain that he's already. The surprise is that despite using every strategy known to man to escape this issue, Kirk is reportedly trying to turn the tables on Mendeecees rather than merely protecting himself. Yes, you read correctly. Kirk is supposedly preparing to sue Mendeecees in a countersuit instead of just contesting the lawsuit. You wonder, what's the foundation for this countersuit? Well, it appears that Kirk's attorneys will contend that Mendeecees is trying to harm Kirk's reputation by making up this whole issue. They are trying to alter the narrative to make it seem as though Mendeecees is only jealous of Kirk's success and wants to exact revenge. Let's pause now to think about Kirk's achievements. Kirk was out here cheating on his wife, failing business opportunities, and desperately trying to boost his reputation when we last checked. Wants to suddenly pretend to be the victim to make things make sense. But hold on. It gets worse because Kirk is manipulating the issue behind the scenes using more than just legal arguments. Who do you think is assisting him? Rashida Frost, his wife. Let's be honest. Rashida has stood by Kirk through all of the scandals, infidelity, and dubious activities. Moves, and now she is supposedly trying to protect Kirk from this lawsuit by using her personal connections. According to rumors, Rashida is attempting to stop the media from covering this litigation by phoning influential people in the field. Indeed, she's purportedly trying to shape the narrative by reaching out to blogs, entertainment news websites, and even some legal professionals. Conjecture, because you would expect that as soon as MDC filed the case, all of the main blogs would be talking about it. However, many platforms have been eerily silent. In reality, Kirk and Rashida seem to be doing everything in their power to keep this issue from being widely known, since they are aware that if too many. As people go deeper, more secrets will come to light. Let's talk about these secrets for a moment. It turns out that Kirk's covert meeting with M's business associates and subsequent exposure of private information was just the beginning. Sources claim that Kirk might have engaged in even more questionable economic activities behind M's back. Rumor has it that Kirk Frost He was out here pretending to be connected to M to create transactions and then stealing the money, which is known as utilizing M's name to obtain business agreements for himself. If this is accurate, it is not only a breach of business but outright fraud. Furthermore, Kirk Frost has a history of questionable financial behavior. You may remember how he was discovered to have mismanaged Rashida's funds and purportedly used their joint accounts for his personal spending. It is true that this individual has been acting dishonestly for years. Kirk is afraid that if investigators look too closely, they might find more evidence that might land him in big trouble now that Mendeecees is pursuing legal action. There's more though. Yandy Smith has said nothing about the situation at all, and it's starting to look rather suspect. As you can see, anytime there is drama with Mez, Yandy usually takes center stage. She makes sure that everyone knows that she supports her man by clapping back at people on social media all the time. This time though, there wasn't a single post, comment, or even a reminder to stay strong. What does this signify? The two primary possibilities are that Yandy opposes the case and secretly thinks Mez is committing an error, or believing that battling Kirk in court will only make matters worse, and she would prefer not to be involved in the mess. Option 2, Yandy is not speaking because she has to protect her secrets. Maybe she's aware that some information about her may come to light if this matter is investigated further. Additionally, keep in mind that Yandy herself has engaged in some dubious commercial activities. It didn't exactly help her look credible, considering that she was suspected of making up her marriage to Mies for TV. In light of this, Yandy might be trying to steer clear of disagreement with Kirk and me at war because, let's be honest, if she picks the wrong side, her entire public persona could fall apart. But if Kirk is actually going to count assumptions in DCs, the real concern is what will happen next. This instance could run on for years, and please keep in mind that Kirk may try to wriggle out of this issue with the help of his powerful business connections. If this case goes to trial, what will happen? Let's be honest, none of these men wants the world to know their secrets. Will Kirk find a way to work the system and escape the repercussions, or will Mies be able to prevail in this conflict? To realize that the main fight hasn't even started yet, and now we have even more questions. Is Kirk bluffing, or will he actually pursue this countersuit? Is Yandy remaining silent because she has something to hide, or is she quietly working behind the scenes to keep Mies safe? Above all, what would happen if Mies prevailed in this case? Kirk's victory if Mies wins. The real question is who will do it next. Will Kirk go full villain and attempt to destroy Mies in court? Or will Mies divulge additional information that might bring Kirk down permanently? Kirk is not going to let that happen without a fight. There would be no more commercial dealings, industry ties, love, or hip-hop tales to keep him relevant, and his entire career may come to an end. In Part 3, we'll discuss how this legal battle is already upending the industry, who is secretly choosing sides, and what type of consequences Kirk Frost might truly face if this case doesn't go his way. This drama is far from done, so keep an eye out because things are about to get even more bizarre. Now that Kirk Frost is trying to refute Sue Mendeecees Harris, all of this is going to go haywire because since he is aware that this lawsuit could be the final straw for his career, Kirk is actually fighting for his life at the moment. He is therefore employing every shady tactic known to man to avoid losing. But the issue is that Mies isn't giving up either. Kirk wasn't ready, and guess what? He thought this would be an easy situation where he could utilize his industry contacts to quietly terminate things. Do you recall when we talked about Kirk Frost supposedly doing backdoor deals and stealing M's business contacts? Well, she seems to have evidence. Sources believe that M's legal team has recorded phone conversations, emails, and texts that show Kirk was deceiving investors by claiming to be managing business from DCs while secretly transferring funds. Let's face it, this is a whole new level of fraud, theft, and deception because it's not just a commercial issue. If this is accurate, Kirk might be dealing with a full-fledged criminal case rather than merely a civil action. He promised business ventures in M's name and then vanished with the money after making deals into his personal accounts. But hold on, it gets worse. Everyone is looking at Rashid as this drama plays out, asking, "Girl, what do you know?" Rashida always plays the innocent and pretends she has no idea what's happening behind the scenes because Kirk has been involved in many shady activities over the years. However, how is it even conceivable? Let's face it. Kirk, you tell me, was racing around. The intriguing aspect is that M's legal team is purportedly asking Kirk and Rashida for bank records. This is where things get really complicated since Rashida may be involved if her name shows up on those accounts or if she made money off of any of Kirk's dubious activities. Despite lying to investors, stealing business deals, and transferring funds into hidden accounts, Rashida never saw anything fishy. Legal concerns as well, and it's important to remember that Rashida is already making an effort to silence the media and protect Kirk from the lawsuit. Why then is she trying so hard to keep things quiet? Is it to hide her involvement or to protect her husband? Rashida is not just a victim if she knew any of this. She is now a participant in the scheme, and Kirk and the guys D's are fighting in court for the duration of the hip-hop scene is closely monitoring the situation. And guess what? individuals are already picking sides. According to rumors, a few love and hip-hop celebs are covertly aiding Mendeecees in anticipation of Kirk's exposure. You might be surprised by some of the names involved. According to what was purportedly overheard, Lil Scrappy is avoiding Kirk because he doesn't want to become involved in this tumultuous situation. That Kirk started this, Yandy Smith doesn't say anything, casting doubt on her devotion to DJ academics, and other bloggers are starting to pay attention, suggesting that the story is getting more traction. But guess who's still supporting Kirk? Yes, it is said that one of the few people who still support Kirk is Stevie J, the king of unscrupulous business deals and problematic relationships. But let's be honest, does it improve Kirk's image? Thus the crucial question is, what will happen to Kirk in the event that Mendeecees prevails in this case? According to M's legal team, Kirk's conduct resulted in substantial financial losses. So if the lawsuit is successful, Kirk might have to pay a large settlement, millions of dollars in damages. But that's not even the worst part if authorities find that Kirk committed. He can face criminal charges for financial offenses, including embezzlement or fraud. Let's be honest, Kirk's career is done if he is arrested for this. He will no longer have any business alliances, influence in the industry, or hip-hop or romantic relationships. What will happen to Rashida if Kirk is taken into custody? Rashida's enterprises might potentially suffer if she were involved in any manner. Her whole boss female persona is based on self-reliance and successful. Therefore, she loses credibility if it turns out that she was concealing Kirk's dubious agreement. You can bet your bottom dollar that Kirk will begin to snitch if he loses this case. Indeed, Kirk might begin exposing other prominent members of the industry who have engaged in similar dubious transactions if he senses he's losing because, let's face it, Kirk isn't the only one who has been. Backdoor business tactics. Kirk might start putting others under the bus to rescue himself if he gets desperate. Believe me, if it occurs now, some well-known names might be revealed. We'll know whether Kirk's countersuit is even valid at the next court hearing if the hip-hop managers, industry insiders, and reality TV personalities have taken similar actions. I will have an easy way to win if the judge rejects Kirk's argument. But if Kirk fights back, the case might drag on for months or even years, and the longer it drags on, the more secrets will come to light. These are the main questions we would like to know the answers to. Will Kirk face criminal charges, or will he simply get away with a loss? What, if anything, will be said about Rashida in this mess? Will her brand be affected by that? Is Yandy actually keeping quiet, or is she defending herself in the background? More significantly, who else will Kirk reveal if he becomes desperate? The ramifications of this case will permanently change the industry, and it is far from over. Believe me, more startling information is on the horizon, and things are growing worse every minute. Do you believe Kirk can truly? Is this the end of the road for him and Rashida, or is there still more drama to come? Who do you think he would reveal first if he begins snitching? To ensure you don't miss any updates, please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.